Once upon a time, in a large and powerful kingdom, there lived a wise and respected king. His name was King Edward. He was loved by his people because he ruled with fairness and wisdom. His kingdom was rich and prosperous, and everyone lived peacefully. King Edward had a beautiful daughter named Princess Emily. She was known not only for her beauty but also for her kind heart and intelligence. She always cared about the people in her kingdom and wanted to help those in need. Princess Emily loved her people. And even though she lived in a beautiful palace filled with luxury, she would often go out into the streets to help the poor. She visited the sick, helped the poor, and tried to make life better for everyone. She didn't care about money or fancy things. What mattered most to her was making people happy. Princess Emily dreamed of finding a true and honest love. She didn't want a man who loved her only because of her title and wealth, but someone who loved her for who she was. One day, Princess Emily decided to go for a walk in the town without being recognized as the princess. She wore simple clothes and covered her face with a veil so no one would know her. As she walked through the busy market, she noticed an old man sitting alone by the side of the road. His clothes were old, and he looked tired. His face showed signs of age, and his eyes seemed sad. But despite his worn appearance, there was a calm and peaceful look about him. Princess Emily felt drawn to him. Curious, she sat down beside him and greeted him kindly. "Hello, sir. Why are you sitting here all alone in the market?" she asked with a gentle smile. The old man, whose name was Samuel, looked up in surprise. He hadn't expected anyone to talk to him, especially not someone as kind and gentle as the princess. "I sit here because I have nowhere else to go. I have nothing, but my thoughts keep me company. I wait for someone to stop and talk to me, just for a little while, so I don't feel so alone." Princess Emily felt deeply moved by his words. She could see the wisdom in his eyes. Even though he had little in terms of wealth, she wanted to help him. So she took out some bread and water from her bag and offered it to him. "Please take this. I know it's not much, but I hope it will help you," she said. Samuel looked at her with gratitude, his eyes shining. "Thank you, kind lady. You have given me more than just food. You've given me hope. I never thought someone like you would stop to help me." From that day on, Princess Emily visited Samuel every day. She would bring him food, fresh clothes, and sometimes money. But most of all, she spent time with him. They talked about life, love, and their dreams. Samuel shared stories about his past. He had once been a rich merchant, but a series of bad events had caused him to lose everything. Even though he had lost his wealth, he never became bitter. He remained kind and gentle, always helping others when he could. As time went on, Princess Emily began to feel a strong connection to Samuel. She admired his wisdom and kindness. He was not like the men she had met at the palace, who only cared about wealth and power. Samuel cared about people, and his heart was pure. As she spent more time with him, Princess Emily realized that she had fallen in love with him. But the problem was, she was a princess, and Samuel was just a poor, old man. She knew that her father, King Edward, would never accept their love. The king had always dreamed of his daughter marrying a prince or a nobleman, someone of equal status and wealth. He would never approve of her marrying someone like Samuel. One day, after much thought, Princess Emily decided to tell her father the truth. She loved Samuel, and she could no longer hide her feelings. With a heavy heart, she went to the palace to speak to King Edward. "Father," she said, trembling with nervousness, "I have something important to tell you. I have fallen in love with someone. His name is Samuel. He is a poor man who lives in the market. He has nothing, but he has a kind and loving heart. I want to marry him." "Father." King Edward was shocked when he heard his daughter's words. "But Emily, he is poor. He has nothing. You are a princess, and you deserve to marry someone with wealth and power. You cannot marry him," the king exclaimed, his voice full of anger and disbelief. Princess Emily's heart broke as she listened to her father's words. "But father, love is not about wealth. It is about kindness, respect, and understanding. Samuel is a good man. He is honest and kind. He has nothing, but he has a heart full of love. And that is all that matters to me." The king, however, refused to listen. "I will not allow you to marry a poor beggar," he shouted angrily. "You are throwing away your future. You are ruining everything we have built for you." Princess Emily, though sad, stood firm in her decision. "I love Samuel. Father, I cannot marry anyone else. If you cannot accept him, then I will leave the palace. I would rather live with Samuel than live in a palace without love." King Edward was furious, but there was nothing he could do. His daughter had made up her mind. So, Princess Emily quietly packed her things and left the palace. She went to Samuel's small home in the market, where they both began a new life together. They had little money, but they had each other, and that was enough. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Samuel and Princess Emily lived happily together. Despite their lack of wealth, they spent their time helping others and finding joy in the simple things in life. They had love, and that was all they needed. Over time, King Edward began to soften. He saw that his daughter was happy, even without the riches and luxury she had once known. He realized that love was more important than anything else, and that maybe he had been too harsh. After many months, the king decided to visit Princess Emily and Samuel to see how they were living. When the king arrived at their small home, he was surprised by the happiness he saw. Emily and Samuel were content. They had built a life filled with love and kindness, and the king could see that they were truly happy. "I was wrong," King Edward said with a sigh. "I see now that wealth and power are not the most important things in life. Love and kindness are what truly matter. I apologize for not seeing that before." Samuel smiled and replied, "Thank you, Your Majesty. I never wanted your approval. I only wanted Emily to be happy." From that day on, King Edward accepted Samuel into the royal family. The king saw that Emily had made the right choice. Princess Emily and Samuel lived the rest of their lives together in love and happiness. They showed everyone that true happiness does not come from wealth, but from love, kindness, and understanding. And so, Princess Emily and Samuel lived happily ever after, proving that the greatest treasures in life are the ones that come from the heart.